Hey guys, welcome back to Forever After X. Today we're going to be checking out 17 interesting Mandela effects. I myself love Mandela effects because it literally just messes with your mind. You never know like what's actually true. Like it doesn't matter if you think or like 100% like this is what it was. Like sometimes it's not, and like I don't know how your mind makes you think that, or like even like not even a thought. Like you just you know that it's got to be a certain way, but it's not. But anyway, this video is by Book of Valis. I hope that is. Hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. So thank you for making the video. Other than that, guys, let's get into it.
Out there on the internet, Ariel here for the Book of Valis channel. I hope you guys are having a good day so far. If not,
we're having a
feel
great
free to
day.
vent about it in the comments. I like to read those longer comments. They're really interesting. In this video, we shall continue the Mandela
I'll
effect
leave a comment
series
myself
and cover 17 interesting Mandela effects I've come across whilst exploring the internet. Some of these entries may sound outrageous and they may be wrong, but remember, these aren't my concepts, so I can only explain what I find. If someone finds better information, feel free to share it in the comments and help everyone out. Consider subscribing to the channel at the end of the video if you enjoy it and like topics like these. Also, check out my Instagram and my Twitter where I post strange things. Without further ado, let's begin. Mario Kart change. I have no personal experience with this.
I can't even say I have no idea what this is about to be. I never had like any Nintendo system growing up. Like we had a Wii a long time ago, but like I don't even think we owned any like Mario games on it. So like I've played Mario Kart, but I don't know where this is going.
Effect, as I never played Mario Kart when I was younger. I've only recently started playing it, and let me tell you, it's pretty addicting. So far, I've only gotten like first place twice though. Either way, this Mandela effect has something to do with the particular road you race on, that being Rainbow Road on Mario Kart 64 specifically, a notoriously hard road to race on for some, as many fear of falling off due to the turns and high speeds. Now, it turns out that Mario Kart 64's Rainbow Road is actually a lot easier, as some are surprised to find out that the road has railings to keep you from falling off. Yeah, this comes as a shock to some that vividly remember falling off the map and raging. One reply to this effect states, "Whoa, this is weird. The way I remember it was that only some short sections had rails and the rest of the track didn't have any. I looked up images and now the whole track has rails."
Okay, I am actually confused because I remember playing, I don't know if it was Mario Kart 64, but I do remember like falling off and like it placing you back on the track and keep going. So not like 100%, because again, it was a long time ago whenever I played that. Like I'm talking almost maybe like 8 or younger. I don't know how old I was, but times were different back then. I don't remember the track having railing. I'm confused.
What the heck? This might be a new Mandela effect. I'm still open to the idea that I could be misremembering though. Another reply clears things up by stating, the Super Nintendo version has no rails and is so much harder, as is the whole game. It's still very easy to get knocked off in the 64 version, but not consistently.
So that's what I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I played that one, maybe. I don't know. I don't remember.
What do you guys recall this road being? Chuck E. Cheese's flip-flop.
Know what you can do with your report card at Chuck E. Cheese's?
This entry is regarding the famous establishment that served some top-shelf pizza and had games that kids could play. Also known for their creepy animatronics, though that's a personal opinion. Some quite enjoyed those things apparently, even inspiring someone to create $1 million franchise because of it. Anyways, this Mandela effect is specifically about the name of the establishment. Some people remember the original name of it being simply Chuck E. Cheese, and never Chuck E. Cheese's, though others swear that it had always been Chuck E. Cheese's. The thing about this one is that the newest logo was indeed changed to simply Chuck E. Cheese, rebranding itself without the apostrophe that was once there. Basically, people are confused with this one, as they believe that the name has been flipping back and forth. One Reddit user's response states, it's been both for a number of years now. Different advertisements and even logos have it in different ways. Chuck E. Cheese and Chuck E. Cheese's are both correct. And down to one that actually surprised me, the King Tut.
Okay, I would say I don't know. Again, I've never been to one. Like I've seen commercials and stuff for it, but I don't know.
Okay, when you think of King Tut sculptures and other depictions of him, do you recall him like this, with a simple headdress containing a cobra right in the middle of the forehead? Nothing else? Well, if we take a look at the sculptures and other artifacts once again, Some would be surprised when they find a cobra and vulture are side by side on his forehead, as some only remember a cobra being in the center of his forehead.
Yeah, I was thinking center of the forehead.
How do you guys recall this one? I'm thinking some may be confusing it with another sculpture which doesn't depict him but instead someone else, but since we're not all archaeologists, we're bound to confuse some things with other things. Or the timeline did in fact shift, and I'm wrong. One post states, of all the Mandela effects, the King Tut one has hit me the hardest. I'm a huge fan of all things Egyptian, and have been since childhood. Tut never had two animals on his headdress, so if I am simply misremembering, this is making me think that this is the beginning of my slow descent into dementia. If I'm not, I'm seriously questioning what's real anymore.
That's true. I mean, last time I remember picturing that would be in middle school, which has been over half my life ago. But I just remember one thing right in the center of the forehead. But I can't say 100% that's what I know or thought.
Beats by Dre. This is a classic but almost forgotten Mandela effect.
This is new.
In regards to the famous headphones named Beats by Dre, right? Well, no. The headphones have always been called Beats by Dr. Dre, though many swear that the official name was simply Beats by Dre, suggesting that we should have already known which Dre they're referring to. Though there's something that has led to this confusion, as some of Beats' official social media handles have the same name, Beats by Dre, on them, like here on YouTube. They go by Beats by Dre, although the actual official product sold is labeled as Beats by Dr. Dre. Why don't they stick
that one?
to
I don't
some
remember
brand
either,
name?
though.
I don't know.
I had
Most likely
some.
convenience's sake. Also, does anyone else remember heavily using Beats music and how cool it was at the time? I remember finding out about hip-hop.
I have no idea what that is.
And listening to Kendrick Lamar's Good Kid, Mad City. But I don't know. Do you guys use this as residual evidence that Beats by Dre did in fact exist and that there's a new timeline?
I mean, it looks, from what I remember, it looks more correct on the right. But what does it say? Old Earth, now Earth? What is it? Is that what that says? I can't even read that. It's so blurry. I don't think it says Earth. I don't know what it is.
Shift. Or is it something else completely? Abe Lincoln and his top hat. Abraham Lincoln became the United States' 16th president in 1861, famous for freeing the slaves in America. Now, many people remember him always wearing a top hat in all of his famous pictures, though this is not the case, due to the fact that in the majority of his portraits, he is not wearing a hat at all. He is simply showing off his bare head. I don't know, do you guys remember him wearing a top hat in his famous pictures, or is this a simple misunderstanding? Though I believe some people may be confusing his historical pictures for popular pop culture media and costumes, as he is depicted with a top hat in tons of media. The hat isn't a myth either, as he did in fact own a top hat and wear it a lot, but would take it off for respect and other customs that called for it back in the day.
Okay, without I mean, I know the top hat thing, but all those pictures that my memory serves me correct. That is correct.
iOS mummy emoji. Here's an interesting and pretty damning one for some people. Okay, some recall there being an iOS mummy emoji, described as a standard yellow emoji head wrapped in linen and showing only the eyes and sometimes the mouth, according to some. Looking somewhat like this. Do you guys recall this mummy emoji existing? One Reddit user stated, "It seems like it never existed when you look at emoji history, but I'm pretty sure he did exist and he was near zombie and vampire emoji on the keyboard." Some people also recall there being a full body mummy iOS emoji, but that doesn't exist anywhere.
I don't know.
Where is the mummy emoji Mandela effect coming from? As a lot of emoji databases don't depict them at all. Could this be confused with zombie or vampire emoji, or is that a stretch? Let us know in the comments. SpongeBob scenes. This one was posted 2 years ago on a Mandela Effect thread stating, in the SpongeBob episode Clams, where Mr. Krabs, Squidward, and SpongeBob are on a boat, Mr. Krabs holds up a dollar bill that's been kissed with blue lipstick. Mr. Krabs mistakenly refers to it as Coral Blue No. 2 semi-gloss lipstick. SpongeBob then proceeds to correct Mr. Krabs by saying it's actually Coral Blue number, but this is somewhat cut off by getting bonked in the head by Squidward. Just till now, I've always thought SpongeBob was going to say number 5, and upon googling it, so did a shitload of other people, but it actually sounds like SpongeBob's going to say number 3 or nothing at all. But why do people remember him saying number 5 specifically? Take a look at the clip.
This is an ordinary dollar that's been crumpled up, torn slightly, soaked in a lagoon, and kissed with coral blue #2 semi-gloss lipstick.
Actually, it's coral blue number 2.
Do any of you
That's not where I thought that was going. I don't have a clue, or if I thought he was going to say something. Maybe just because he went foo, so it was like there was an F, so maybe people like just assumed there was going to be 5. I don't know, but that's an odd one.
You guys recall this specific detail? There's also another scene that people speculate has changed, this time in the first SpongeBob movie. Some recall SpongeBob holding up a white V-shaped guitar and the 2 letters KK for Krusty Krab on the head of the instrument. Though if we look back at the closing
I
rock
remember
anthem
GG because it's a Goofy
he's
Goober.
actually holding a peanut-shaped guitar with the letters GG on the head, confusing many people as they recall differently. One commenter's reply states, "I remember it having a double neck, being purple and in V shape. My friend also remembers it in a V shape, but being white, and he didn't know about the confusion regarding it. Anyways, there isn't a single image on the internet where SpongeBob is holding said guitar. This doesn't even make sense." Here's the last SpongeBob related Mandela effect.
That is one that I was thinking. I don't know. Actually, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was like double necked and V. Wow. A peanut guitar. I don't remember that. I do remember like the GG, but I was thinking it was a double neck as well because it had it twice. That's
Effect posted on the Mandela Effect forum stating, "Alright, so my brother and I both vividly remember the ending of the Krusty Krab training video, not ending with the narrator getting cut off when he is going to announce the Krabby Patty ingredient.
Yeah.
We both remember the narrator saying something totally ridiculous.
He says the secret ingredient of the Krabby Patty formula is, and like it just cuts off. If that's where it's going with, because that's what happened.
It didn't actually have to do with anything about the ingredient, or somewhere along the lines of that. Are we the only ones? Some remember ingredients being listed off, but cut off quickly by the critic right when he is going to announce the secret ingredient for comedic effect. But if you go and rewatch it, even the first original airing of the episode, it cut off abruptly. Take a look.
Are you ready? Are you sure? Okay, the secret formula is
yeah, exactly. I think that the people are thinking of, because there's been episodes where like they do go through not really the secret recipe, but like the ingredients of a Krabby Patty, like to make the actual sandwich. There's been at least 2 instances in my head that I could think of, like one where is it Flats? Not Flats. Bubble Bass kept complaining about the pickles, and SpongeBob didn't know how to make a sandwich. Mr. Krabs came over to his house, and he's like, "You don't think I can make a sandwich? It's, you know, the seed patty bun, this." And then there's another one where I think he's talking with Squidward maybe, and like there's a blue background, and they're showing the burger, like, you know, again, got the bun, patty, cheese, this, and I think like SpongeBob's mouth watering, something like that. But no, that is 100% correct. He never listed off any ingredients in that episode. I always thought it was so weird as a kid too, because I was like, "Oh my gosh, like what? Why did they just cut off? You know, what happened? Why did they just go to a commercial right in the middle of the episode?" But I get it now.
Do any of you guys remember this quote-unquote missing scene? Statue of Liberty crown flip-flop. This is in reference to the New York Statue of Liberty Mandela effect, which some say has flip-flopped. Some people remember a Mandela effect years ago, which stated that people could not visit the crown on top of the Statue of Liberty. It was totally off limits or something like that. But now it's open to the public and people are allowed in. Some say that the only place you could access was the torch and not the crown. But now it has supposedly flipped right back to the crown only being accessible to the public, and the torch restricted to only some. 2001.
I don't even know if I knew that you can get inside of it. I don't know. Like I knew that like obviously like you can get into a boat and I kind of go by it, but I not a clue. And I don't know anything about this movie.
On a Space Odyssey line.
Was it
if
like
you guys
1969?
haven't watched this film, I highly recommend it. It's one of Stanley Kubrick's greatest films. Now, if you have watched this film, you guys would know about this evil operating system named the HAL 9000, who sabotages and tries to kill this man on a space mission. Now, do you guys remember the robot voice saying, "Good morning, Dave," and "I'm sorry, Dave, I'm afraid I can't do that"? Well, if you do, you'd only be half correct, as Hal never says "Good morning, Dave" anywhere in the film. Though people swear this was a very famous line from the movie. Do any of you guys recall this line? Air Jordan.
I mean, that's the same with the like the mirror on the wall or magic mirror on the wall, or I had another one in my head too, but now it's gone. But I've never seen that movie. Or maybe like the Luke, I am your father, but he never says Luke. He just says I am your father. It's just that is another like Mandela effect. Interesting.
Broaden logo, Jumpman. Here's one that actually caught me by surprise and left me contemplating on how good my memory is. So you guys know the iconic Air Jordan logo, right? It's a silhouette of the man himself in basketball gear, jumping with a basketball in one hand. Now, do you remember him wearing sweats and not basketball shorts? Well, that's how it is now. The Air Jordan logo depicts the silhouette wearing pants, not shorts, as some recall him wearing. One comment on a Reddit thread talking about it states, "I think people misremember this because of the most iconic photos and posters of Jordan in the 90s about to dunk always depicted him in a Bulls uniform and shorts." Our reply states, "Maybe so. My experience refers to the logo. I haven't seen many posters or photos of Jordan dunking. I really don't follow sports. Same goes for me, as I am prone to confusion because I'm not that big of a fan of basketball compared to other people."
I'm going to message, both my brothers are sneakerheads, and I'm going to message them right now and be like, Jumpman logo, is he wearing shorts or pants? And I want to see what they say. I've got Jordans here too, but like I've never looked close enough to really care. Like I just know the logo of it, but I never like went into detail of it. That is interesting. I would have kind of assumed shorts too, just because he played basketball, but I guess they actually had to do the picture itself and then kind of base it off that. Makes its pants, but I don't know.
Benny the Bull. Do you guys remember this character from Dora the Explorer, Benny the Bull, wearing a nose ring? Well, apparently he never had one, although many remember him sporting one and thinking about its inappropriateness for a children's cartoon. Here's a clip referencing the non-existent nose ring that some claim as evidence of this once existing in our universe. Take a look.
Listen, there's a reason they call him Benny the Bull Gronkowski. He's the toughest, most reliable guide.
We are so lost.
Oh, they call him the Bull because of his nose ring. Damn it.
Britney Spears.
Did she just say damn it? What the heck? I was going to say no. I mean, I could see an image in my mind that it is there. Like it's a yellow ring right in the, like just like that, obviously. But that is interesting, actually. I'm going to message my sister because that was more of her. Like she watched Dora the Explorer growing up. That is interesting. I'm going to have to message all my siblings about things that happen and just see their answer.
Most of you guys may recall the music video Oops, I Did It Again by Britney Spears, right? It's her iconic song and music video where she is depicted wearing a red skin-tight suit. Now, many people recall Britney Spears wearing a headset microphone alongside her red suit. Some even suggest that there's evidence within the music video itself showing her reaching for a headset that's simply not there. Creepy. There's also this quote-unquote residual evidence that a lot of people point to when this Mandela effect is brought up, coming in the form of a Lizzie McGuire episode where she pretends to be Britney Spears in the Oops, I Did It Again music video, even wearing a headset microphone. Take a look.
Hip huggers. It'd be so Oops, I Did It Again.
Mom, Dad, Lizzie's talking about dressing like Britney Spears.
The crazy thing is that
I don't know. Like I was still pretty young whenever like that, like the whole Britney Spears phase was going on. Plus I was very sheltered as a kid. So like a bunch of different TV shows I couldn't watch. And plus I was homeschooled. So with this, like, I mean, I knew who she was. Like my cousin had like a poster of her in his room. So like I knew who she was and everything, but I can't say what I thought. I mean, to my knowledge, no, she didn't have the headset on, but I can't give like a 100% answer for that.
Even the costumes people
I don't think I've ever
the
seen the video, like the actual video myself.
Microphone. How are all these people misremembering something so random? Do you guys recall it this way, where she never had a headset on? One more piece of evidence comes in the form of an official doll that contains Britney and her costume she wore on the music video. The damning thing is that it contains a headset microphone that was never there to begin with. Why would they include the headset if
It
it
is
has
interesting,
nothing to do
though.
with the Britney Spears music video whatsoever? Did they avoid watching the music video when developing the product? Crazy. Wee Meanie. I personally think this one is pretty funny. Some recall the Wee Meanie never existing in their timeline.
The way he says that. Wee Meanie.
And are surprised to find out that this was an official Nintendo product that was released back in 2012 through 2013 in different countries. The Wii Mini model RBL201 is a smaller redesigned Wii with a top-loading disk drive. In addition to the lack of GameCube support, the Wii Mini removes the Wi-Fi support and the online connectivity, along with the removal of the SD card slot. The thing sold for only $99 and was a cheaper alternative to the Wii at the time. Though I don't think this one is a total Mandela effect, at least not for me. It seems like this was simply a forgotten product that was put aside due to its quality. But who knows? Are there any Wii Mini deniers out there? Let me know in the comments if you
I've
guys
never heard
remember
of that.
anything different.
But
It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown missing scene. This one comes to us from the Mandela
I don't know
Effect
this answer
Reddit
either.
community reading. For some reason, this barely gets posted here, and it is, in my opinion, the biggest and most interesting Mandela Effect. Many people, including me, even though I must have been extremely young when I saw it, remember the Great Pumpkin rising from the ground at the end, but this never happens. This is so big for me because a lot of other Mandela effects always have a logical explanation, at least for me. Shazam is Kazam, Jiffy Peanut Butter, Jiffy baking mixes, etc. I feel like this Mandela effect in particular doesn't have an obvious connection to it, which makes it so interesting to me. What are your thoughts on it? One reply states, no, not on board with this one. Others in this thread have already pointed out that what you are almost certainly remembering is either Snoopy rising up and being mistaken for the Great Pumpkin, or most likely the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror episode where it actually happens. There's also
Couldn't
a
tell
Robot
ya.
Chicken episode where this happens.
What should we do?
You should let the Great Pumpkin eat you!
Charles Schultz, or Schulz, creator of the series, whose last name really is a Mandela effect, was a deeply religious man. The heavy-handed moral of the story is that Linus deceived himself into worshipping a false idol and missed his Halloween for nothing. If the Great Pumpkin had turned out to be real in some form, that would have severely undermined his message. What do you guys think about this one? I am your gummy bear. That sounds lovely out of context. This is in reference to the popular YouTube version of the song. The post bringing it up states, me and my family members and close friends are freaking out over this. Remember the annoying gummy bear song? Well, me and the people I've asked have always remembered the title being I'm a Gummy Bear. On YouTube, it's titled The Gummy Bear Song, but on the official album, it is titled I Am Your Gummy Bear. In fact, in the beginning of the video on YouTube, it shows the album and its title, stating I am your gummy bear. Listen, I have tons of little cousins who listen to this song. I'm pretty sure I know the title and lyrics, so do the rest of the people I've talked to about this. If anybody can find some sort of residual evidence, it would be appreciated.
I don't know. I know what that is. I don't know. I don't even know how the song goes.
Home Alone 1990. The post that brought this effect to us reads, any fans of Home Alone 1990 here? Do you guys remember this line, or am I losing it? I've watched Home Alone pretty much every single year around Christmas time for almost 30 years now. I'm sure I'm not alone in the loving of this movie as one of the best Christmas films ever made. I know the film like the back of my hand. I could recite every line before it's even spoken. I have the film ingrained in my mind. I know a bunch of extraneous trivia about the film. Tonight, I decided to open up a Blu-ray. The past decade or so of me watching it has been a digital rip that I've probably downloaded, and back in the day, I could have watched it on TV or VHS. Anyways, there's a scene around 40 minutes into the movie where Kevin is almost hit by Marv and Harry as they're driving their van out to the street from a neighbor's driveway after robbing the house. They almost hit Kevin. The robbers exchange some words with him, and Kevin sees Harry's gold tooth and gets spooked, and he begins running away from him once he realizes that they're following him. He runs to the church and hides himself in a nativity scene. As the robbers drive up to the church, they have the following dialogue that I seem to have remembered differently. Marv goes, maybe he went to the church. Harry then responds, I'm not going in there. Marv then says, me neither. Harry replies, let's get out of here. I could have sworn that Marv in his second line of the dialogue said, "Me neither, that place gives me the creeps." I remember always thinking about how weird it was that he seemed so freaked out about going into the church. As a kid, I reasoned that it was probably because they were bad guys, and that being in a holy place would make them uncomfortable. When I saw the movie tonight and he didn't mention that, it immediately felt like something was missing. Now I'm questioning if he ever said that, or if I just imagined that he said something like that based on my implications of their dialogue. So I'm not absolutely 100% certain, but I was caught off guard enough to wonder if this was something else that people remember. One reply states, Googling the scripts for both movies, I searched the word creep and came up with 2 results in the first movie. Both were cases of Harry calling Kevin a little creep, and no results in the second movie. Though, to be fair, the script and the lines in a movie aren't always one-on-one. Side note, searching Home Alone creep comes up with a surprisingly rich amount of not safe for work results. Search at your own risk.
That's funny. I wish I had more of an input for a bunch of these, because yeah, I've seen the movie, but like I don't like hold it close to my heart to where like I know or like remember lines and stuff like that. So I don't know about that one either.
Deere. Do any of you guys recall John Deere being spelled this way? Well, if you do, you're in for a surprise
with an E
because
at
it
the
actually
end?
contains a letter E at the end. Yeah, it has always been spelled as John Deere with an extra E at the end in this reality, according to the Mandela effect. One reply to this effect states, now I realize that most people remember this tractor manufacturer as John Deere, but I remember it without the E at the end, and found an unusual residual piece of evidence. In my hometown, there is a John Deere store. It is right off the main street. It sits at the top of a hill, and you have to take a long drive up to it. Because of this, the owners decided to call the driveway Deere Street. Yep, that's right, no E at the end. Though the John Deere sign on the store remains as it is now, with an extra E. And that was my 17 Mandela effects that I gathered for this week.
You can obviously understand of why you would think that there's no E on it, because it's literally a deer. And yeah, but no, I always remember it with being an E just because it was different. So like that's why I do remember it. Plus, mowed lawn growing up, drove a John Deere for most of my lawn mowing experiences at my parents' house. So yeah, but interesting video nonetheless. Again, I like doing Mandela effects just because it kind of makes your brain go crazy, because you never know what was real and what you remembered, which is not real or sometimes real, and this and that. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the reaction, if you guys want to call it that. I don't know. But again, thank you to Book of Valis for posting the video for me to react to it. Other than that, guys, I've got nothing. Hope you guys have a good day, and yeah, I messed up my outro. Bye.